Welcome to our Trade to Developer podcast. My name is Suzanne Elsey.
My name is Craig Shields, and we've often been asked to share how we've transitioned from trade to developer. We're now ready to reveal all.
Craig's going to explain how just having really good conversations when you're going and meeting clients can lead to really good opportunities.
I think, like I was saying before, my passion is that I think tradespeople should be doing more developments themselves, and obviously the opportunities out there for tradespeople to be doing this is, like, for instance, one of our architects gave us a referral to go to a project, a client of his. He was given he had a commercial building as a landlord, and a big chain left them through COVID, and he ended up paying all the business rates. So he wanted to put a stud partition wall up to convert the shop down to small to reduce his business rates. But so I got the referral, went there, met with the guy, and he just went, "Look, I'd like to just put a wall up here," and being like, thinking, why do you want to put a wall? And he explained to me, and he's like, "Oh, look, come on, I'll show you around the rest of the building." This building was a TARDIS. It just went on and on and on and on. He went, "Look, can you see why I want to do it now?" And I said, "I can, but from a build side of things, if you're going to turn that into 8, we walked around and we found out that there was 8 flats you could get into this building and keep the commercial downstairs." I said, "If you're going to do that, you're going to need to do a demolition on it." I said, "If you're going to put that wall up, you're going to cause a real problem for the builders to do that." And he was just like, "Oh, look, like, thanks for like pointing that out. I didn't think of that." So the conversation just kept flowing from there, that he had a lot of demolition to do prior to even thinking about starting the works, let alone getting the planning permission for it. So anyway, we stay in contact with him. He then put the planning permission in for the 8 flats, and then he got us to do the demolition. So we done all the rip out of the shops. We spent about 30 grand on the demolition to get all this waste out. So he was just left with a building, just with a core shell. Anyway, so his planning permission got turned down, and then he asked me to be involved again. So I just stayed in the conversation, networking with it, and he just said, like, "I'm looking to do the 8 flats. We turned down on the sound, we turned down on the noise from next door." It was. So anyway, we worked out a way of changing one of the windows and worked it all out. Anyway, got him through the planning permission, and he turned around and said, like, I'm going to sell it because I've got my commercial building in a SAS pension, and SAS pensions are not allowed to keep residential in there. So would you like to buy it? So from going out and seeing that stud wall and asking, we ended up buying 8 flats. A development with 8 flats in. So the way that we structured the deal was he wanted to keep the commercial side of the building. So we bought the freehold of the building with the planning permission. And then with the shop where we did eventually put the stud wall up, he leased that back off of us on a 999-year lease and kept the commercial, because commercial to us wasn't really the valuable part. We knew we could add value to the Class E for the planning permission for the 8 flats. So we managed to finance the purchase and 100% finance of the build. We carried out the build, and we put eight flats in there. I think it was 3 2-bedrooms and the rest 1-bedrooms, and we then converted that onto a buy-to-let mortgage with 75% loan to value. So when doing this development, and doing any of our developments as a trade, is that when you price a job, you normally put on between 20 and 40% profit and a 5% margin maybe. But obviously, where we're doing it for ourselves, we're actually saving ourselves the profit because we're doing it for ourselves. So we can do the margins for a lot less than what we would do if we were doing it for a client. So we're ahead of the game. So where I'm getting at with this deal is that we got the deal by going to the client direct and just helping them through doing what we need to do, because we're meeting these property people all the time. We can then carry out the build for less than what other people can, and obviously we can get the same finance as what other people can. And actually some finance companies look at us being better because we're more reliable to do the work, because we actually carry it out ourselves. So we might be able to get a better rate. So then we carried the deal out, done the works, 12 months worth of work, which we paid ourselves for to do the job. And then we refinanced it on the 75% loan to value buy-to-let mortgage. And at the time we had service provider from the council that was taking on emergency housing that's just taken it off of us for 5 years. So on the back of going and putting up a stud wall, from the acts of keeping in contact with the client, letting them know what they think from a property side of things as well, thinking about it for a long term for him, and then he built up the trust with me. And I think a lot of tradespeople do. You build up good trust with some of your clients. You have repeat clients over and over again. And I say it time and time again. Tradespeople have got lots of opportunities out there that they don't know about.
It's taken us 7 years to make the transition from working with clients through to developing our own portfolio, and we can speed that up for you. If any of this resonates, please do register now and we can help you transition yourself from trade to developer in just 12 months.
And for instance, plumbers and electricians are doing gas certs, electric certs for landlords. Electricians are doing it every 5 years, gas engineers are doing it every year. So like, these landlords, just have a conversation with them. Are you looking at selling? What are you doing with your portfolio? Talk to them about the market. What do you think about what's going on with the government at the moment? Do you think it's going to affect what you're doing with your properties? They will start to talk to you because they've already trust you, you know. So they might turn around and say, well, you know what, you know them two that they done the boiler on last year, I actually need to sell them. And then you could be in a position to buy them, you know. So it's the opportunities that can come from doing your day job to then doing your day job to get paid for it and have a long-term investment. It's like, it's something that I'm really passionate about. And I think that if everyone that wants to get into this, that is trade, that can just slightly think, rather than walking into a job and going, oh, that's up a high street, that is, and that's going to be a pain in the backside. But actually, yeah, I'll go there. I park in the multi-storey car park. I walk 5 minutes. I see this guy. He's a commercial landlord. It's opportunity there, not just for your business, but for your future as well, you know. So I think the mindset, people can get into that mindset of thinking there could be opportunities here in any property they walk into. And people might just be doing their property up to sell it anyway. And you might be able to turn around and say, look, save you doing it up, we'll just buy it off you before you even do it up. So I think there's a big mindset there, and that doesn't come with training. That just comes with general gut feeling and knowledge, isn't it, of what you're doing?
It does, so. But I think actually that's transferable to people's other industries as well, because you, on that same job, I remember you telling me about one of the companies that came out to price, and they had right attitude about where it was and how difficult it was going to be, and I actually put you off even using them.
Yeah.
So I think the same goes for your day-to-day business as well, because he's just lost a huge ongoing work because of his attitude about that one job. So I think that's an important thing to remember.
We didn't use him ever again.
No.
Yeah, and it all goes down to giving that professional service and making sure you take up every opportunity you can. So
being positive when you're going to see people.
Yeah, definitely. And have your eyes open.
Yeah.
Thank you all for listening, and thank you all for your support, and please subscribe to the upcoming podcasts.
Just remember the famous quote from Henry Ford: if you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always got.